Yeah, and you're not asking them to spend any additional money, right? Like with life
Costs no money,
insurance,
no money at all.
yeah, like
No,
if I'm trying to sell you an IUL or a mortgage protection, I'm like, hey, John, this is going to something that may happen in the future. I also need you to spend $200 a month today.
yeah,
Or if I'm writing IUL, hey, let's prepare for your retirement. I need you to spend $500 or $1,000 a month today. You're going, you don't have to spend any more money. I'm going to get you money in a bonus, and you're not going to lose anymore.
the
It's pretty
funny part
compelling
about
pitch
that
compared to the other way, right?
is that objection why you can't sell insurance is the reason why we can close annuities.
This section, we're going to talk about annuities with John Gavin, who most of you, if not all of you, should know. John's an integrity partner. And I think, John, when we were talking, you said earlier this week, I think, or maybe on Monday, you told me that we had like 5 annuities issue that day, I think, right?
Yep.
So we appreciate everything you're doing. John, what I wanted you to go over today, if you can, is I think some people think that the annuity sale itself is difficult. And I remember like I was thinking back to like maybe 5 years ago when you first explained this to me, because you were like, dude, you're good at selling life insurance, which is way harder than selling annuities.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was the opposite, because I saw people like you and others who were, I was like, oh man, those guys are so polished. This must be difficult. And then you're like, no, selling annuities is way
No one's ever
easier.
called me polished before, so I appreciate
I
that.
think you're polished. You're
Yeah.
polished, especially compared to where I was at 5 years ago when we
Yeah.
met,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was probably hungover and a mess at that time, but we've come a long way. So
Yeah. It's
if you
awesome.
could though, but like that mindset helped me a lot. So if you can explain, why it's actually easier and you don't even really sell anything, I think that'll help people like kind of shift their mindset on annuity sales.
Sure. And thanks for having me on, and thanks for allowing me to pour into some people, and hopefully somebody will get something from this. But annuities are totally different than life insurance. And with life insurance, we're calling people up and we're trying to sell them something that's not going to benefit them necessarily. Yeah, we have living benefits, but in a nutshell, it's protecting their family if something were to happen to them. With annuities, it's totally different. We're talking to people, and if they are a genuine possibility for annuity, that means that they have some funds somewhere. And so we're not trying to tell them that they should have some funds somewhere. If they're a legitimate client, they have it. If they don't, then they're just not even a possibility for an annuity client. And typically they have it in a few different places. Typically, it's in a 401k or it's in an IRA, or they might have some funds that are some cash from the sale of a house or something they've accumulated, and it's sitting somewhere. And so you can ask a few questions about how they feel about their current status and what it's doing. If it's in an IRA, there's no secret that the markets have been really volatile, and over the last 2 years, they've probably lost a lot of money. So with life insurance, we're trying to tell them that, when you die, there's a good chance your family's going to suffer a financial hardship. Let's protect them from that. Where here, we're not trying to forecast something that can happen. In today's market, we can ask a few questions, and they're living it right now. They've felt it. So when you talk to somebody who's got an IRA and you say, "Oh, how's it done over the last couple of years?" Nobody's going to say it's been great because there's nothing that's done great over the last 2 years. So it's like a rhetorical question. And so you ask them, so how has that done over the last 2 years? Have you lost any money like most of my other clients? Because it's not like if they bought these stocks, these bonds, these equities, whatever it might be, and they're doing really well, but everybody else was stupid and didn't buy these. It's all the markets are down. So you just have to uncover the money, ask them how it's done over the last couple of years. Ask them if they've lost some money, like your other clients have. And when they say yes, say how do you feel that's going to impact your retirement? And it's a lot easier to draw the emotions from something that somebody is actually going through versus what projected could happen.
Yeah.
They've got to think about the death, think about the family, think about what's going to happen after you leave. They've got to really dig deep because they haven't experienced it. But when they get their statement and it's showing, they lost 23,000 so far this year, they're like, they feel that. They feel that stress. And they feel like, okay, I had a hard enough time putting all that money together. Now that I'm retired, I'm starting to lose it, and not because I'm spending it, because the markets are going down. So
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to draw off those emotions when somebody's actually going through something. And when you tell them that you have a product that is not only going to stop those losses, because like, hey, we're on a downward slide. You've already lost 23,000 this year. How would it feel to stop those losses and never have to worry about it again? They feel that, right? Then you can tell them, hey, on top of that, what if we were able to give you 16% of those losses back in day two in a rollover bonus and almost get you back to where you were before? How would that feel? Because a lot of people in retirement, when they start losing money, they feel like they've done something wrong. They feel like, oh my God, I'm blowing this. How am I losing this money? But when you come
Mhm.
in, you stop the losses, you have a product that has a rollover bonus, you recoup some of those losses, you get them back to just about even. And it's just like one of those things where, okay, if I screwed up once, if you tell yourself, if I just had another shot, I would never do this again. So
Yeah.
here we are, we bring you back to even. And on top of that, we're never going to suffer any more losses. And then we're going to participate in the gains when the markets do go. So I think it's easier in the fact that it's something that they already have. They've already been emotional about it because the markets are losing. And then there's some other things you can add on top of that too to help wrap it up. But I think that it is easier because it's something they're experiencing, not something we're trying to project that could happen in the future.
Yeah. And you're not asking them to spend any additional money, right? Like with life
Costs no money,
insurance,
no money at all.
yeah, like
No,
if I'm trying to sell you an IUL or a mortgage protection, I'm like, hey, John, this is going to something that may happen in the future. I also need you to spend $200 a month today.
yeah,
Or if I'm writing IUL, hey, let's prepare for your retirement. I need you to spend $500 or $1,000 a month today. You're going, you don't have to spend any more money. I'm going to get you money in a bonus and you're not going to lose anymore.
the
It's pretty
funny part
compelling
about
pitch
that
compared to the other way, right?
is that objection why you can't sell insurance is the reason why we can close annuities. It's like, hey, I can't afford
Yeah.
that right now. I can't
Yeah.
afford that right now. Well, no, you are affording. You're losing money. How much money more can you afford?
Right.
Because if you can't afford a $125 life insurance policy, how can you afford $1,500 that's going out the back door in market losses?
Yeah.
So it's that same objection is the one that helps close annuities.
Now, the other thing that we talked about the other day was you were talking about a guy who was always worried about competing with financial advisors.
Yeah,
And I think you do a really good job of like going like, no, that's not like the dumb example I gave you when we were talking on the phone is I was like, oh, that'd be like a doctor trying to look at an engine of a car.
yeah,
Like, yeah, you're
yeah.
really smart, but you don't work on freaking engines. So
Completely
can
different
you
animals.
yeah, can you go through kind of like because I think people are intimidated by financial advisors and trying to beat the upside and compete with them, which is not what we're trying to do. So can you
Yep,
go over that misnomer just so agents understand that and what the different jobs are?
absolutely. So um, first of all, financial advisors, they are good people and they, and they definitely serve a purpose. A lot of my friends, some of my closest friends are actually financial advisors.
Yeah. I
And
have
I
a
bounce a
financial
lot.
advisor because I'm
What's
28,
that?
right? I said I have a financial advisor
Yeah,
because I'm
exactly.
28. Yeah.
Yep. Because right now you're in what we call the accumulation phase. You're
Hmm.
not anywhere near retirement, maybe, but who not typically, but you're not anywhere near retirement. And so you're not going to retire. You're not getting set up to retire. You're in the growth phase. And so a financial advisor, in your case, is a great tool because what they can look at is they can put you in different things, move around. This one's got some great growth. This one's got some great growth. We can be a lot more risky when the markets tank. Yes, the markets always do bounce back, right?
Hmm.
But if you look at the last two corrections, big corrections that we've had, in the year 2000, the year 2007, when the markets lost 43 and 49%, the markets lost, and it took 7 years to get back to its original baseline. When
Wow.
you're 28 years old, and they say, hey, you're going to continue to buy shares as the market keeps dropping. Now you're buying shares when they're lower. And then when the markets come back, those shares grow along with whatever else you have. And by the time you're 35, you're going to be in great shape when the market bounces back. When we're retired, it's completely different. We're not
Yeah.
buying shares anymore. We're just sitting there. When your biggest asset is your earning potential. So when that earning potential is gone, we no longer have a job or a career or income, and all you have is a certain amount of money, and all it's doing is fluctuating with the market and getting chewed up by fees. You're not in the same position you are because you're buying low and letting that grow because you have plenty of time to retire. Well, when we're looking at somebody who's 67 years old and just say for round figures, they've got $200,000
Hmm.
and that drops to 155,000. And then they don't have $200,000 till they're 74 again.
Yeah.
So that impacts the quality of life. And that's saying that they don't spend any money in between now and then. So it's a whole different game. So we
Yeah.
don't
So like if you're
compare.
60 and going to retire at 62 and the market drops, you don't even get back to where you were at when you were 60 until you're 67. So you may have to push
67.
retirement back 5 years, right?
5 years. Yep. You either
Yeah.
get it, keep working, or you have to, lower the quality of life for 5 years and not spend that money. And when we have a solution to that, where you're not going to lose any money, that we're going to give you a bonus to start out ahead. I mean, the number one comment I get is, why isn't everybody doing this? And we don't have to compete against financial advisors because they have different products. It's like
Yeah.
saying that you have, okay, so here you have a Ferrari and here you have a Bentley. They're built for two different purposes. They both get to the same place that they're trying to go to, but one is going to be pure speed and a lot of risk. The other one there is a lot more comfortable, a lot safer, and it's still going to get you there. And so you can't compare the two different people or products or careers, because financial advisors, they have stocks, bonds, mutual funds. They have a certain tool belt. In their tool belt is never going to be fixed index annuities. They have to have an insurance license, which they don't want to get because they have all their other licenses. They have what's in their tool belt. Over here, we have a different tool belt. We've got fixed index annuities, and they're not meant for people who like day trading, the people that like to see the fluctuations of the market, the people that like to gamble a lot. We typically can't wrap those people up. It's meant for people that know they worked really hard for their money, don't want to lose anymore, but still want to outpace inflation when the market does go up.
Yeah.
So two completely different clientele. If you have somebody that's just focusing on highest rate of return, highest rate of return, highest rate of return, go to see that guy. That's not our guy. We
Right.
want somebody that is rational enough to know that they've lost some money in the market. If they keep losing, their quality of retirement is going to be lowered, but they still want to participate in the gains. And these annuities are built right now with the participation rates that the numbers are outrageous that they're returning right now. Not right now because the markets are down, but when the markets bounce back up, those participation rates are going to return an incredible amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, hey, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all your help. Thanks for getting on today. But I think we're going to keep blowing it up, man. So thank you so much,
Awesome.
John.
Thanks for having me on.